And we do the show live Wednesdays. It replays throughout the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, here's the one and only Mr. Fred Dreyer.
Thank you so much, Michael Horn. Now, look, ladies and gentlemen, I know we all were diligently gathered around the hi-fi.
Is that what you do at your house? Is you don't even have a stereo. You like just the straight hi-fi, right?
Just the hi-fi.
It's good. It's like the monaural sound is great.
Yeah. I sit there in my shorts, in my Calvin Kleins, and I just listen away.
That's good.
And so I was listening rather than watching the debate. And what was real fun for me was listening and asking myself what direction that Romney was going in when I realized as you get 20 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, through it, halfway to a third of the way through it, you realize what his model was, what his game plan was.
So you weren't watching, you were just listening to the last debate.
I didn't want to watch it. I was listening to it. And what I pulled out of it was, certainly as what everybody else has surmised over the last day or so, is that he chose to ignore what everybody knew was the big elephant in the room, which was Libya, and his ability to put Barry on a barbecue spit and roast him at that point in time on that subject matter that would represent his offering into the foreign policy debate. And so he chose to specifically not do that, which brought an awful lot of attention to him, positively, I thought. I think there's one little caveat there. I would have liked to have seen him do one thing to the president and then move on, which would be something along the lines of, Mr. President, 4 Americans, our consulate was attacked, 4 Americans were murdered, our representative to the country of Libya was murdered, and on your watch, and it is clear that you and your people covered up a known terrorist attack. Please explain yourself to the American people. And then after he lies and does the Ralph Cramden hamana hamana hamana, then you leave it alone and move on. I think the death of those people deserved the acknowledgement. But
I agree with you, Fred, but the one thing is, now in hindsight, now that these documents have come out showing that the high levels of the State Department knew it was a terrorist attack immediately when this attack happened, and the cover-up that took place for 14 freaking days afterwards, now there's ammo in the shotgun, because that just came out, and as again, we do this show on Wednesdays, came out basically today it's being talked about, and so that was the thing that I think Romney needed to really drive it home, because otherwise Obama's going to deny it, get all huffy-puffy, say, people died and I'm doing this, and if he says he's got to be sure about one more thing, we got to be sure, I got to be sure about this, he must have said he's got to be sure about everything. He's not sure about anything.
Exactly. No, I don't disagree. What we have here now is a Bret Baier hosting the post-debate analysis with Charles Krauthammer, and they chatted a little bit about what Charles Krauthammer thought of Mitt Romney's and his overall take on the debate.
Look, this was a very tough fight. I think Romney did about as well as he did last time around. He made his points. Obama clearly had a good night, a much better night than the first night. Woody Allen said showing up is 80% of life. Well, he was at the 80%. And I think on points, if you were scoring it on points, Obama wins on points. He made a lot of counter punches. He made a lot of accusations. He managed to get under Romney's skin a little bit by referring to his wealth. If you make $20 million a year, trying to make a point about taxes, but it was really a way to say you're a rich guy. How would you understand the ordinary guy? I thought there was one point where Romney did really well. I think all of us agree that was on the larger general issue of the failure of this administration. When Romney went large, he did well. When Romney went small, trying to answer each point here and there, I think Obama got the better of it. But there was one really critical issue in this debate, the Libya question. Obama was completely at sea. He was asked about the security in Libya, at Benghazi. He didn't even try to answer because he had no answer. Instead, he went on and on about how we're going to catch these guys. Romney, I think, had a huge opening that he missed. Obama ended by saying, you know, I'm offended by the implication that we would mislead. The obvious retort was, mislead? You sent out your UN ambassador to mislead America on 5 television shows in one morning, implying it was about a video, talking about a riot. There was none. There wasn't a video involved in this issue in Benghazi. And then there was one tactical error that Romney made, which was he kept asking the president questions. Every lawyer knows you never ask a question for which you don't already have the answer in hand. And that gave Obama a chance to counterpunch. We got Candy Crowley's intervention, which was essentially incorrect, supporting Obama on the transcript. He did not call it a terror incident. There was a big opening that was missed. I think it was contaminated by the actions of the moderator. But again, on the big issue, that one where I think Romney could really have scored, he missed an opportunity. And that's probably why I think on points, Obama came out ahead.
And that was on the second presidential debate with Candy Crowley from CNN News, not this last one. And that was Fox News, Charles Kraunheimer's comments there, right?
Yes. But here's there's an awful lot of questions about, and this goes back to the root of what I believe to be true, and that is the GOP is a center-left organization now, and so you're never going to get hard answers to anything that are home runs to the common people.
Gotcha.
There's a question here that he asked about that Barack made about the wealth of Mitt Romney. My question is, why do we have to be poor to understand poor people? Do we have to be poor in order to be careful how we talk about poor people? And he also meant, he said that there was that something that Mitt missed. I don't think he missed it. I think he chose not to touch it. I think this last debate, he went into it being way, way concerned about how women were going to perceive this. People in the culture, in the news media, already bracing for this bombardment of what Mitt was going to do to Barry on the subject of the murders in Libya. And I think he chose to stay away from it, be presidential, stay on top of it, and not scare women away, not be argumentative or confrontational. I think he decided to defer that. Why? Because he knows he's ahead. Now, when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some a couple of comments from our president, Obama, more from Charles Krauthammer, and also from Marco Rubio. Don't go away.
Be sure. Don't have to be sure that you stay with the program.
Exactly.
We must be sure.
Yeah, thanks so much.
All right. This is the PM Show Weekend Edition with the one and only Mr. Fred Dreyer. Ladies and gentlemen, you can email Fred. The email address is incoming@crni.net. That's incoming@crni.net. Check us out on Facebook, Facebook.com/The Real Fred Dreyer. The PM Show continues straight ahead.
Hey, guys.